Hip hop and fashion have always been synonymous with each other since day one. The early 2000s saw a surge of hella rapper-owned clothing brands like Rockaware, G-Unit, shit, even Sean John, no Diddy. But with all those success stories, you know we gotta talk about the duds. Today, we're going over rapper-owned clothing brands that you might not have remembered existed. It's your boy House Phone, biggest bro ENT. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if you remember any of these clothing brands we're about to go over. Let's go. One of the first brands we're gonna be talking about today is Vocal by Nelly. Vocal by Nelly was a hip hop streetwear brand launched in 1997 in St. Louis by rapper Nelly. The name cleverly stands for very organized kids always learning something, with the slogan, quote unquote, the clothing speaks for itself. Initially, it was sold out of trunks, and at St. Louis concerts, t-shirts, hats, jerseys, Vocal quickly gained a following. After Nelly's country grammar exploded, 2000 to 2001, the brand went national. Its first official collection dropped 2001 and featured bold, edgy designs aimed at urban streetwear. By 2002, Vocal pulled in around 22 million in sales over just 8 months, with projections of over 100 million that following year. Vocal's logos were featured on Nelly's NASCAR truck in 2003, another avenue building brand visibility. The success also drew a lawsuit in 2004, a rap group claiming prior use of the name Vocal. Their case sought millions in profit splits. Production paused briefly in 2004 due to licensing disputes. It resumed, then ceased definitively around 2007. So that means it was really only active from 2000, I would say, to 2007, which honestly not a bad run. 7 years, man. They made hundreds of millions. It said, well, no, it said they made 22 million in just 8 months, and then they made 100 million after that. So to be honest, that's a pretty good 7-year run if you ask me, my boy. And you already know, man, Nelly had the early 2000s on lock, man. Underlay, mommy, uh-oh. Like, bro was going stupid. And you know, nigga, he had the motherfucking Band-Aid on his eye. He low-key increased the sale of Air Forces. Nike should have been gave my boy a check for sure. They should have been fucked with him. So Nelly was very influential. And that's the thing with a lot of these rap-owned brands, is that these people already had platforms. They already had a fan base. So it was easy to give them a tangible product for them to sell, because the kids already wanted to be like them. So boom, wear my clothing brand. Now you can dress like Nelly. Throw a Band-Aid on your eye. Let's go. It's lit. If you're hunting for vintage Vocal pieces, I would say try any thrift store, eBay, goddamn Depop. You can mix and match some of the old drip with your new drip, man. Shout out to Vocal. Our next case, today we gotta talk about No Limit Gear or No Limit Clothing by my boy Master P. Master P launched No Limit clothing line in the late 1990s, riding the massive success of No Limit Records. Just like his record label, the clothing line was a part of a diversified empire that included shoes, sports management, film, TV shows, and much more. No Limit Clothing was one of the earliest examples of a hip-hop artist flipping label success into fashion. Master P's goal wasn't just to cash in on fashion, it was to keep everything in-house and Black-owned, controlling every stream of revenue from music to merch. Some of their most popular pieces were the oversized No Limit t-shirts with the iconic tank logo, military-inspired jackets and camo outfits, hoodies, sweatpants, and snapbacks bearing the No Limit soldier insignia. Unlike brands like Sean John or Rockaware, No Limit Clothing was not a mainstream department store brand. It remained underground, cult status streetwear. After No Limit Records declined in the early 2000s, the clothing line faded from shelves. Today, No Limit vintage apparel is rare and collectible, especially original tees, hoodies, and tour merch from 1997 to 1999. You could get some serious bread off that shit if you still holding on to some pieces back at the crib in your motherfucking attic or in your garage, you feel me? Just the sheer fact that this is one of the first rapper label owned clothing brands, and it definitely mirrored the success of the record label, it just makes sense. We had to put this on the list. You know, y'all might not have been rocking it back then. Y'all might have been too young. Shit, I was definitely a baby, but I've definitely had some No Limit Gear pieces that I found on some random vintage shit that I really loved, man. And the designs were always fire. They were always very loud. You know, you got that military vibe with the tank and shit like that. Shout out to motherfucking Master P, man. He always found a way to get to his bag and be by $1, you feel me? All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, now this next one, I for sure know that you niggas definitely never heard of this because I was a fan of this rapper as a kid and I definitely never seen this shit until I was doing the goddamn research for this video. All right, next case, we got to talk about Shago by Bow Wow. Shago was a youth streetwear label active around 2002 to 2006. Shago was a part of the early 2000s rapper fashion wave when hip hop artists weren't just selling albums, they were building brands. Pretty similar to some rappers today like Travis Scott and etc. who people like make sure that whenever they drop an album, they drop some merch. But these was the OGs of doing that shit. The reason why Shago took off was basically because of Bow Wow's peak popularity. In 2002 to 2003, Lil Bow Wow was a teenage superstar. His albums Beware the Dog in 2000 and Doggy Bag in 2001 both sold millions. And his audience was primarily kids and teens, an underserved market in the hip hop fashion sector at the time. Shago aimed directly at Bow Wow's fan base, young teens and preteens who wanted the hip hop look without the adult sizing. The brand released youth size denim, varsity style jackets, tracksuits, tees, all branded with Bow Wow's name or the Shago logo. The name Shago blends his real name, Shad, with a brandable twist. Bow Wow wore Shago gear in public appearances, music videos, performances, and it all added to the appeal and the lore behind Shago. So if you were a little kid, listen, man, Bow Wow had this shit on lock back then. All the kids wanted to have braids. They wanted to dress like Bow Wow. This is a way for his fans to be able to really connect with Bow Wow and feel like they could have that Bow Wow swag. I don't know, man. I never seen this though. The decline of Shago really took place between 2005 and 2006. One of the main reasons being Bow Wow just grew up. Around 2005, Bow Wow dropped the Lil from his name, trying to transition from child star to adult rapper. The streetwear market was also getting very crowded at the time. Rockaware, Sean John, G-Unit clothing, and Baby Fat dominated the space. Shago, a niche youth line, didn't scale up to compete with the bigger fashion houses. Also, unlike other hip hop clothing brands, Shago never expanded beyond the youth demographic or added new product lines for adults or women. Its audience literally outgrew the brand. They got too old. They couldn't fit the shit no more. It was a kid's brand. Niggas had to grow up at some point. Shago had a brief retail lifespan. Most sources point to a 2002 to 2006 active period before it quietly disappeared from shelves. Bow Wow eventually shifted his focus to music, acting, and hella other revenues, man. If y'all know anything about Shago, if y'all was rocking some Shago back in the day, man, drop some of y'all favorite Shago pieces in the comments, you feel me? Let's go ahead to the next case. Coming from hip hop fashion royalty like Rev Run, Russell Simmons, you would think that Diggy Simmons would have a walk in the park when coming up with his clothing brand, right? But honestly, his brand Space Cadet took off and came right back to earth quicker than y'all could even fucking remember. Upon further investigation, we actually came to the conclusion that the Diggy Simmons brand Space Cadet, Space Age, whatever the hell it was called, didn't actually ever release. He ended up doing a pivot to a shoe brand, but the first original clothing brand, it never even released. He did all this crying, he begged to meet Pharrell, and then never put the damn brand out. So this whole brand took up a spot for no reason. We gotta do a part 2 now. Rev Run, as the frontman of Run DMC, Rev Run set early fashion trends in hip hop like tracksuits, Adidas, shell toes, Kango hats. Those influences are visible in Diggy streetwear meets preppy aesthetic. The Simmons household featured on Run's house often showcased Diggy's flair for choosing outfits even from a young age. He remembers not letting anyone pick out my clothes for school. His uncle Russell is a trailblazer in hip hop urban fashion. He founded Fat Farm in 1992, Baby Fat, creating a lifestyle empire. The brand building and crossover from hip hop to retail set the stage for nephew Diggy's own fashion ambitions. Around 2009, it was his first dive into apparel inspired by his futuristic jet set lifestyle. Due to a name conflict, he pivoted and ultimately rebranded the line to Space Cadet, and later into his better known chivalrous culture footwear line, which what the fuck does that mean? Chivalrous culture footwear? Nigga, you couldn't have thought of nothing better. Now listen, we're not gonna talk about his shoe brand too much, but if y'all want me to double back and do a second video about failed rapper shoe brands specifically, drop something in the comments, let me know. We'll double back for the shoe video right after this one. Diggy partnered with Pharrell Williams early on, aiming to fuse streetwear and futuristic aesthetics, reflecting his jet-setter general persona. Now, if we're being completely honest, this brand was heavily inspired by Billionaire Boys Club, Ice Cream, Play Clothes by the Clips. It was kind of falling into that same genre, which honestly I feel like it was probably its demise because it was just too similar to other shit that was going on at the time. Diggy's Celebrity Foundation, famously from Run's house, gave early hype to space age and chivalrous culture. By 2011, chivalrous culture was discontinued and space age had ceased activity. Diggy refocused on music and acting. All right, man, listen, that's all we got time for today when it comes to the rapper clothing brands that you may have forgot about. It's your boy House Phone, man. Let me know if you knew about any of these brands before this video, because we'll do a part 2, and then we'll also double back. We'll do rapper shoe brands that y'all don't remember, because I know it's a bunch of them, a bunch of weird collabs that y'all didn't even know existed, man. It's your boy House Phone. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all leave a fucking like. Make sure y'all leave a comment. We about to keep doing these videos every week, man. Get used to me. Let's get it.